line. The president is now warning the regime of President Bashar al-Assad, quote, other players on the ground that use or move such weapons would be a red line. Would that mean an escalation or a spreading of the war? With us now, former State Department Senior Advisor Christian Whiton. Christian is with us, currently a principal at the consulting firm D.C. International Advisory, former State Department official at Senior One. And Christian, I just wonder what your sense of this is in obviously the very early going. First of all, with the president's statement on the movement of weapons.
Well, it's a pretty big evolutionary development, frankly, coming out of an unplanned press conference, because we've gone from a previous administration policy where the U.S. wasn't even willing to arm the rebels up to now a point where the president has at least contemplated in public invading Syria, potentially in the wake of chemical weapons. Now, what's left unanswered, of course, is what happens to those weapons after the Assad regime goes, if it does. But this is a pretty major change after 17 months of war.
Throughout the Arab Spring, as it were, over the last 18 months of the Syrian uprising, there have been concerns from people all over the place that this could spread regionally. What level of concern do you have about this car bombing across the border in Turkey?
Well, it's potentially a very aggressive act if some of the early indications pan out. If this was organized or even acquiesced to by the government of Assad, then it is an attack on a NATO ally. Turkey has been very concerned all along with the deterioration of security on its, to its southern border. It is switched, as you noted earlier, from supporting Assad to opposing Assad. It harbors the rebels. So potentially, Turkey could invoke self-defense under NATO and confront the rest of NATO with a request to get involved in this conflict. So this could potentially escalate into a war that would involve the U.S.
Christian, Steve Harrigan, our reporter, is still there. And Steve, I'm interested to find out what Turkey has been saying in the early going, in the hours after that bombing, what their initial, at least verbal, response has been.
Initially, it's just been an hour here since that explosion, which you could actually hear from where I'm standing, and it's clearly blaming Kurdish separatists for this explosion right now. That's where all the fingers are pointing right now among local officials in Turkey, Shepard.
And Christian, I'm guessing that would be a best-case scenario for the prospects of a spreading war.
Yeah, to the extent that any terrorist attack is, that would be par for course. I mean, Turkey has had a long and very long spat with Kurds and Kurdish separatists. Yes.
All right, Christian, thank you. Steve, thank you. Be safe.